The morning sun had barely risen over the private airfield when a single sentence shattered the silence and changed countless lives forever. A proud CEO stood beside her gleaming corporate jet, surrounded by executives and security staff, convinced that power could never be questioned. Across the runway, a quiet aircraft maintenance inspector noticed something no one else had seen. When he stepped closer to prevent a disaster, the CEO publicly humiliated him and declared that anyone who touched her jet without permission would lose their job immediately. Less than 24 hours later, a convoy of black government vehicles rolled onto the tarmac, and a senior Pentagon official delivered an order that left the entire company frozen in disbelief. The same woman who believed she controlled everything was told to step aside immediately because national security had suddenly become more important than corporate pride. Before we continue this unforgettable story, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Dad Talks and Stories if you believe kindness, humility, and second chances can change lives. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that remind us why compassion always matters. The man standing alone on the edge of the runway was named Adrien Mercer, a widowed single father raising his 12-year-old son, Noah. Every sunrise began the same way. Adrien prepared breakfast, packed Noah's school lunch, helped him finish homework, and then drove nearly an hour to the executive airport where he worked as an independent aircraft safety inspector. Life had not been kind to Adrien. After losing his wife to a sudden illness years earlier, every dream he once carried had been replaced by responsibility. Bills never stopped arriving, grief never completely disappeared, and every decision he made centered around giving Noah a better future. Despite all of it, Adrien never cut corners. He believed that every bolt, every wire, and every inspection represented human lives waiting safely at their destinations. That particular morning, the company Skycrest Dynamics prepared for its biggest investor presentation in years. Their CEO, Victoria Hale, had earned a reputation for demanding perfection while showing very little patience toward anyone beneath her executive circle. Employees admired her intelligence but feared her temper. She expected immediate obedience and believed that hesitation showed weakness. As photographers captured promotional images beside the company's luxurious jet, Adrien noticed faint discoloration near one engine panel. Most people would have walked away, assuming another technician had already approved the aircraft. Adrien's years of military aviation experience told him otherwise. Tiny hydraulic stains often hid much larger problems waiting beneath polished metal. Knowing that every passing minute increased the risk, Adrien approached the aircraft carefully to perform a closer visual inspection. Before he could even open the maintenance panel, Victoria noticed him from across the runway. Her expression hardened instantly. In front of investors, executives, and dozens of employees, she loudly accused him of delaying an important business flight. Security guards surrounded him while cameras continued recording the embarrassing confrontation. She announced that no outsider would touch her aircraft without permission and warned that anyone interfering with her schedule would be removed immediately. Her words spread across the airfield faster than the morning wind. Adrien quietly stepped back, knowing that arguing would accomplish nothing, yet his heart grew heavier because his instincts refused to let the warning disappear from his mind. Unable to ignore what he had seen, Adrien completed an official safety report through federal aviation channels before driving home. That evening he tried to focus on Noah's science project, smiling while helping build a small model airplane, but deep inside he wondered whether he had done enough. His son noticed the worry on his father's face. Noah simply reminded him that doing the right thing was always worth it, even when nobody appreciated it. Those simple words, spoken by a child who had already experienced too much loss, became the encouragement Adrien needed. Just after sunrise the following morning, the airport buzzed with excitement as executives prepared once again for departure. Instead of investors arriving, several dark government SUVs entered the secured runway. Uniformed military personnel and senior aviation officials stepped out alongside representatives carrying Pentagon identification. Conversations stopped instantly. The atmosphere changed from celebration to complete silence. The officials requested immediate access to the aircraft and instructed every executive, including Victoria Hale, to move away from the jet until further notice. Within minutes, inspectors confirmed Adrien's concerns. A damaged hydraulic pressure line hidden beneath the engine housing had developed microscopic fractures capable of causing catastrophic control failure during flight. Even more alarming, investigators discovered that the same aircraft had recently completed transportation connected to sensitive government technology under a confidential defense partnership. Because of that involvement, every maintenance concern required immediate federal review. The aircraft was grounded on the spot, and the Pentagon temporarily assumed oversight of the investigation until every safety question had been answered. Victoria watched in disbelief as the authority she believed was unquestionable disappeared before her eyes. The same employees who had witnessed Adrien's humiliation now watched government investigators praise the accuracy of his detailed report. They explained that his refusal to ignore the warning signs may have prevented not only the deaths of everyone aboard but also the possible loss of classified equipment being transported during future operations. Suddenly, the quiet inspector nobody respected became the reason an unimaginable tragedy had been avoided. News spread quickly throughout the aviation industry. Adrien never sought interviews or recognition. Instead, he returned to his ordinary routine, driving Noah to school before reporting for work. Yet something remarkable had changed. Young mechanics began asking him questions. Experienced engineers requested his opinion. Companies that once overlooked his applications suddenly invited him to lead safety programs designed to protect crews and passengers across the country. His greatest reward was never fame. It was knowing that integrity still mattered. Victoria's own journey became unexpectedly humbling. During the investigation, she spent weeks reviewing every management decision that had shaped her leadership style. She realized that success had slowly convinced her that titles mattered more than people. She publicly acknowledged the mistakes she had made and apologized to employees whose concerns she had ignored over the years. The apology could not erase the past, but it marked the beginning of a company culture built on listening instead of intimidation. New safety policies were introduced, anonymous reporting systems were expanded, and every employee was encouraged to speak without fear of retaliation. Months later, Adrien received an invitation to address a national aviation safety conference attended by executives, engineers, military leaders, and students. Standing before thousands of people, he never spoke about awards or recognition. He spoke about responsibility. He reminded everyone that courage often looks ordinary. Sometimes it is simply refusing to stay silent when everyone else chooses convenience. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one willing to risk everything to protect complete strangers. That evening Adrien returned home where Noah waited with dinner already prepared. The boy smiled proudly as his father walked through the front door carrying nothing more than his worn work bag. Their small house was still modest. Their lives were still simple. But inside that home lived something money could never purchase. Dignity earned through honesty, love strengthened through sacrifice, and hope built one quiet decision at a time. If this story has touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, subscribe to Dad Talks and Stories, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Every interaction helps us continue sharing meaningful stories that remind the world kindness is never wasted. Special request, please comment, integrity always wins, if you believe doing the right thing is more important than having power. As the golden afternoon sunlight stretched across the runway, the same jet that had once symbolized pride now represented a lesson that no amount of wealth could buy. Titles may command attention, but character earns respect. Power may silence voices for a moment, but truth eventually speaks louder than fear. Adrien never wanted to become a hero. He simply refused to ignore what his conscience knew was right. And in the end, one humble single father proved that genuine courage is not measured by authority, but by the willingness to protect others even when standing completely alone.